part 2, unintentionally. My camera is really sensitive. I feel that it's a tremendous injustice, but not necessarily all that surprising. So in this case, when it happens to us that we are terminated, let go, or somehow not part of the consolidation, we kind of want to curl up into a ball and be away from stuff for a while, but it's the time for everybody around to mobilize. So in the next few days, I'm going to do what I can to make the necessary phone calls and try to boost her morale again, even though I'm not even really supposed to know this happened. I just happened to be walking by and found out all of this. We've all heard a lot of stories like this, but it does vary from state to state and country to country. This is where Europe and a lot of Canada have a leg up. As there are usually more layers to taking this kind of action, although still in those places employee engagement is lower than the US statistically, in terms of different indicators of how much people are enthused by the work and so forth. But of course bias is taken into account there. The worst story I ever heard was of a chain called Super Salad, a play on the words, soup or salad. And this restaurant, there used to be a branch here, and they had fired a manager, or maybe the manager had quit, I can't remember exactly now. And they had brought a manager in from Chicago to take over. And with no relocation allowance or settlement allowance, anything like that, 2 weeks later, literally some black suits come into the restaurant, and people have just bought their buffet. And they said, "All right, folks, it's time to clear out. It's over." And then as they do this, they're literally tearing up tables and removing chairs and stuff like that. They had known all of that time that they were going to close the restaurant, but they needed somebody to carry out these final 2 weeks of operation until the fiscal year had ended, or whatever their objective was. I'm not overly a humanist when it comes to labor and all of that, but there is a social contract of sorts, and even if you feel like there are potential liabilities or problems that could surface by being transparent, if the organization's in trouble or you have plans that could seriously disrupt people's lives, you need to give them a month or two notice so that they can prepare. And I've said before that karma is not necessarily punitive, and I don't believe in a mainstream version of hell that we have been morally instructed on. But those things will catch up with people. And so, as I've said on Facebook to somebody yesterday, I do think that one very likely outcome for most of the West is that There will be a merger between some of our major purveyors in the state, and there may eventually come a time where there are not choices for where you shop and so on. Where was I going with that? Your comfort, I hate to say, like, in the Christian sense of just waiting until the next life or the afterlife, but when something really horrible happens, if you can, just throw your head back and laugh your head off, because the game is all about disrupting and distracting you from your powers as a creative transmitter and receiver with God, the collective, or whatever you want to call that. And if you get too upset, that's almost an energy source for a few core people that really want to see the world in turmoil all the time, because turmoil is very profitable for some people. And also, turmoil makes everybody question their own value. And if they, in general, have to make you question or have a reduced idea of what your value is, that's indicative that there is value to be diminished. Don't let people get the better of you. Don't let the system get you down. It's very hard to not get sucked into it. But if you very actively plan strong buffers, and if you keep your eyes open to take care of your networks, everything will land on its feet somehow. I hope this makes sense. Sorry, I'm a little perturbed by this. Please, I always say it's better, well, I can't say it here, but anyway, fight back rather than laying down. Thanks, bye.